So another video on the Ataribox, or should I say the Atari VCS, the video computer system. Same name that was given to the original Atari system back in the 70s, before it was then called the 2600. I have to say it looks interesting, especially the new controller. The retro style controller was revealed last year, and I failed to do a video on that because time and things. This controller kind of looks like a Xbox 360 and Xbox One controller, but a little bit different, obviously. Obviously, that red joystick is supposed to make it look a little bit more Atari, you know. Now, obviously, it's modeled after an Xbox 360, Xbox One asymmetrical style stuff, and I think that's fine. I mean, Nintendo did the same thing for the Switch Pro controller. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, you do get both of these controllers, or if you do, I'm pretty sure that you get both of these in the system. That's definitely a big positive. Having a modern controller as well as a retro style one brings a lot more variety to the table. You know, you can play side scrollers with the original if they're not that advanced in control scheme, because I'm pretty sure some more modern side scrollers would need the the Xbox One style controller, or modern style controller, should I say. But older games should only need the the older one button stuff, one joystick, one button. Now, there have been retro style controllers for the Xbox One, PS3, Xbox 360, PS4. I did those out of order, but you get the idea. I'll have pictures on the screen of some old style stuff. But these are all third-party stuff for the system, for their systems. This was also mentioned last year, but you could use any controller you want with the system. I think it was in the interview they did, or the one guy did. I'm not sure. It might be in that interview, it might not be. So, even on their website, they show a picture of a guy using a 360 controller with it. Or, I think it's a 360. Kind of looks like a third-party one, but it might not be. This is great, as, you know, if you have an old controller that you're not using, you know, but you still want to use it, but your current system doesn't support it, or maybe, you know, you're not using it on the PC, you can just start using it again. This also makes buying extra controllers a lot easier, you know? You just walk into a store, leave an Xbox One and PS3 controller. I mean, if it truly does work with everything, you could even use the new Duke controller coming out. How cool would that be to use a Duke controller on, you know, a modern, or like, playing retro games, while your friend is playing, you know, with a PS4 controller? That's just gonna be crazy if this does truly work with old controllers. See, if I was Atari, I would have plans to release even more first-party retro-style controllers. I think the one I'm thinking of is the European-style controller for one of their systems, which kind of looks like a old Nintendo pad, but a little bit different. I think that'd be a really good thing to add. I'd even release eventually a modern Atari Jaguar controller, because it's not that bad of a controller. I don't get why it gets hate. I mean, it's pretty useful, you know, for the games that were on the Jaguar, because that system had like those slot-in cards like the older Ataris did, but you know, it was a more kind of modern-ish style controller. It just looks weird. I think that's the problem. I don't think it feels that bad. Like, I've played with it before. It's not that bad of a controller. So, back in December, I thought they were just going to scrap the Ataribox after they canceled the Kickstarter campaign, or Indiegogo, whichever one they were going to use, I forget. But now, with the Ataribox changing its name to the Atari VCS and them showing off this prototype at GDC, I'm pretty sure they're serious about it. I didn't think they were going to be serious about it after December. Also, if you didn't know, Atari announced a new game, Tempest 4000. They showed off a trailer. Looks pretty good. Tempest, but newer. Always good to see. Pretty sure that's going to be on the system, so that's at least one confirmed game. You already know there's one confirmed new game, so... Problem is, we still don't really have much news of what the Atari VCS does. We know it plays games, obviously. We know it uses a modified, wow, words, version of Linux. I don't know how modified, because, you know, the PlayStation 4 is technically a very modified version of Unix. So, there's that. And the Xbox One is a very modified version of Windows 10. So, you can do a lot with modifying a operating system. And we know it uses AMD hardware, has been shown or said multiple times. The problem is we don't know how powerful it is, or how our game's going to work. How is the store going to work? What eras of Atari games are going to be playable? Is it just 2600, like mentioned in some previous stuff? Or is it as many eras as possible? Is it going to be 2600, 5200, XEGS, 7800, Jaguar, Atari Computer, their PS2 games, Xbox 360, PS3, Wii? If this system has Godzilla Unleashed on it, or really any of the Godzilla games they published, I would buy it instantly. Like, to have Godzilla Unleashed on a non-Wii system, I know you can do some weird stuff on it with PC, and you can get an emulator and blah. No, I just want it to work, you know? Don't have to set up emulators myself and get it to fine-tune it to get it to work. I just want Godzilla Unleashed not on the Wii. I mean, that's the only reason I really played the Wii. That's the only game I played, was Godzilla Unleashed on the Wii. I played that game so much. Titanosaurus was my favorite. I think because Titanosaurus isn't a very good creature in Godzilla lore. Like, he's not evil, he was just mind-controlled. And he doesn't really do much. He's kind of just a worse Godzilla, but he's bigger, which I always thought was kind of neat. One of my favorites. There's a lot of cool Godzilla monsters, especially in the comics and stuff, like Stranger. Yeah, there's a weird creature called Stranger. So, some other games I'd like to see on the Ataribox. I think I already did a video on this. Pretty sure I already did a video on this. But yeah, Forgotten Realms Demon Stone. It's an old RPG published by Atari for the PS2 and the original Xbox. I think Iron Soldier deserves a spot on the system. The original Iron Soldier, published for the Atari Jaguar. So not many people played that. Bullet Witch, a third-person fantasy post-apocalyptic shooter with a witch that does magic and has this really big and weird gun. That'd be a cool one to see on the system. Obviously, there's hundreds and hundreds of games I could pick from that Atari published, or all the different Ataris published through, 70s through now. I'm just really glad to see that this system wasn't scrapped, and we actually might have a fourth competitor, since the Steam machines turned out to be horribly mismanaged, and those Android consoles were never going to be competitors. They're in their own competition systems, But, the reason these Steam boxes failed was because there was too many of them, and which made it too confusing. If there was, two Steam machines, everything would have been much better. Instead of having 10, I think it was 10 or 15 different companies, each making 4 different models, which was that's 40 different models of a console. Quotations of or console competitor, which just you might as well have just thrown out the Steam machine project right there. You should have had just one Steam machine, Steam box. It should have just been the Alienware one. You should have just had the Alienware one, have it been, $400, and then just have just have some type of optimization thing, like GeForce Experience, something like that just instantly optimizes those PC games for that specification, and then say, oh, you're gonna need to put it at 720p. Or, have two different versions. Have a 720p version and a maybe 1440p version. I wouldn't have gone all the way to 4K because I don't think it would have ran very well. Alright, well, that's it. I'm just happy to see that the Atari box wasn't scrapped. Or the Atari VCS now wasn't scrapped. Yep, that's all. Bye.